Here coming out with another different game today. This game just came out on Android and iOS. It's called Vanguard Zero. It's based on Cardfight Vanguard, the in real life card game, and the anime. So definitely really fun so far. I'm really enjoying it. So for those of you who don't know what Vanguard is, like I said, it's a card game, but essentially there's different clans that all have unique abilities or attributes. And basically the point of the game is to deal your opponent 6 damage before they deal 6 damage to you. So just kind of some of the features here when you log in. There is a login bonus for I think the first 5 days that gives you a bunch of packs, which the packs, I'll go over the shop really quickly. So the packs are called gacha, but they're basically just booster packs if you're familiar with any card game. So basically you can use either crystals or the card pack tickets to get the packs. I don't have enough to get one right now, but you can see we have the first gacha set here. There's different triple rares, double rares, and in each pack you're guaranteed at least a rare, which is really cool. So it's just like opening a normal Vanguard pack. It's really neat overall. And then you have a room, which basically you could just decorate and like show off different things for your friends and whatnot. And you can visit other people's rooms that you're friends with. So pretty neat there. And then under card, which is this tab here, you actually can create your decks or craft cards. There's also a forum if you guys are newer to Vanguard or haven't played at all. You can go here and find different decks that people publish for other people to use. You could sort them by likes even, and some of them are really powerful decks. Like the highest rank in the game right now in ranked is Legend, so some of those decks will even showcase what people use to get Legend rank. So pretty cool there. And then under card overview and crafting, you can get materials for crafting from getting extra cards you already have. It automatically like disenchants them and gives you crafting materials, or you can also get them from doing the character fights, and you can sort it even by clan. Like Nova Grappler, if I want to craft a Nova Grappler card. It shows you the cards you own. You can also click on all, like if there's a card you want to make that you don't already have. So say you just click on it, and then you obviously just click craft to create it. So pretty good so far. And then under the actual decks, you can create one from the code from the forum or the recommended decks, or you could just create one from scratch if you like. So the deck that I have the most finished right now is my Kagura deck. This is kind of the deck. You can also customize your sleeves and your characters. So I'm going to put like the red sleeves on it here. And you can confirm your deck, so just take a look at it here, and I'll show you kind of what I've been running. I actually need to edit this because I got new, more perfect cards. So if you click on build deck here, normally it would be blank, but since I already have the deck created, this is where it's at. You could sort it by grade if you're looking for a specific card. So let me go back here. So we got to take out 2 cards for 2 more perfect cards. So we'll go ahead and take out 2 Gojos here. And even if you just click on the card, you can add more that way as well. Just gonna add 2 more Baris in there. Let's see. Let's do a Superior Ride. Mahomes good. We'll actually take one of these out to throw a Berserk Dragon in there. Right now, there's not a lot of ways to build different decks, just because there's only one set out in the actual game. But right now, I have one Blockade. He's really good right now. Same with Blazing Flare Dragon, because you can hit big numbers and retire rear guards. I like Gojo as my first Vanguard just because he can retire those grade 1 boosters your opponent calls out. And then kind of the finisher of this deck is Vortex Dragon, which the Mega Blast in this game, if you're familiar with the in real life card game, costs 1 counter blast less, which is nice. And there's as you can notice, no triggers in this card game. Your triggers are your grade 3s. So you can have up to 4. There's 4 different types of triggers in Vanguard. Heal, which heals upon a damage. Stand, which stands one of your rear guards. That's rested. Draw, which lets you draw a card. And a critical, which deals an extra damage to your opponent. So went ahead, we'll finish adding our deck there, so we'll hit save. And then beyond that, as I talked about earlier, there's character fights and the story mode. So the story mode is the first season of the anime, just in different fights. So you can play that. You get rewards for playing the story, and you level up what's called your grade. And each grade has rewards to get you to the next grade. As you can see here, I already did 2 of them, but one of them that I have is win 1 time against Kamui. Harder greater, and if I do that, I'll get this reward, which is a ticket voucher, and then I will also level up, giving me another free pack. So if you want to get a bunch of packs when you first start the game, definitely recommend the story. There's also missions you can do. They refresh each day. They give you different rewards, and if you finish them all for the day, I believe you get a pack. And then there's also achievements, which are like daily missions, except they're longer. So like, as you can see, some of them here, like use Nova Grappler to win in a rank fight 10 times. And then there's also limited ones that you can only perform during a certain time period. So character fight, you literally just fight the character that you want to fight. You unlock more as you play the game. And when you beat them, you get the crafting materials, and you can also play them on different difficulties. You can only play the hard and very hard 5 times a day each. And that's pretty much all there is to it if you've never played Vanguard. So I'll go ahead and I'll show you the online mode here. There's different ranks. You start out at Rookie, and you make your way all the way up to A and then Legend. So I'll go ahead, we'll play this Kagero deck that I kind of showed you guys just to showcase it. And I believe I'm also at the point where I think if I win one more, I rank up. So yeah, like I said, definitely enjoying the game so far. If you guys have also downloaded it, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I can't wait for Gold Paladins to get support in the game, because that's always been my favorite clan in real life. Probably going to be a while, just because they did not get to Gold Paladins very quickly. It was like a different arc after the first arc. So we're going to be playing against Oracle Think Tank here. So at the beginning of each game, you draw 5 cards, and then you can put any card you want back into your deck to draw more cards. So you draw the amount you put back. So we did, and in Vanguard, you basically, each turn you can ride a grade higher, up to grade 3. As you can see here, we don't have a grade 2, so that kind of sucks. Hopefully we draw into that. If you go first, you can't attack your opponent, and you draw a card at the beginning of every turn. If you go second, you draw 2 cards just to kind of even it out the first turn. So we did not, oh, there we go, we got the grade 2, so that's nice. We do, when you ride over your starter, you basically move it if it has Forerunner. So here, because I run a superior ride deck, I'm going to ride the bar just because I don't have the grade 2 right now. Our opponent might be what's called farming, or they might just be what's called grade stuck. So farming is just your opponents let you win. They can get the online rank up, not the rank up, but the experience, like virtual points. So we'll see if that's what he's doing, or if he just didn't have a grade 1 in his hand to ride. And in my opinion right now, I think obviously, or honestly, that the Nova Grappler is probably the best deck in the game right now. Fall closely behind by Kagero and OTT, and then I think Royals are just a bit lacking right now. For whatever reason, I think just because Kagero counters so hard because they have to pay such a high cost to call rear guards with Alfred. And our opponent is giving us a free win here. He is running the, or not running, but he's basically just letting us win. so you can get the basically every time you play in an online game you get currency, which I'll show you at the end, and he's just trying to rank that up very quickly by letting his opponent win. It kind of sucks because I wanted to show you guys an actual game of the online, so I'll go ahead and I'll play another game after this for you guys. So if you see them a lot of times not riding and doing this, they're obviously just letting you have the win and they're wanting that currency, so kind of sucks because obviously you want to play the game, you don't want just a free win. So I'm just going to try to finish them as quickly as possible here, so we're even going to call out our perfect cards to boost just to make sure we can push as much damage in as possible and try to finish the game quickly so we can get on to an actual game here for you guys. So when you attack with your grade 3, you get what's called Twin Drive, so you get to check 2 cards from the top of your deck, and if it's a trigger, you get to apply the effects based on what type of trigger it is, and it gives 5,000 power. So there we got a draw trigger, so as you see, we drew a card. Now when you drive check, those cards don't get added to your hand, they go to the bottom of your deck. If it's a trigger, it activates and then goes in your drop zone. Also, there's what's called intercepting, so if your opponent has a grade 2, you have to attack that unit before you attack your opponent's Vanguard. Alright, so we went ahead and got that there, but like I said, he was giving us the win. That's the win animation there for Kai, it's pretty cool. And as you can see after the game, we get the ranked points, we also get the clan level, and we get VP. So what our opponent was doing was basically trying to get as much VP as quickly as possible by just letting his opponents win the game, which is definitely a problem right now that I see, especially in the lower ranks, VC farming, which I understand it's part of the game. It just sucks because then you're literally playing the online mode for no reason because you're getting a free win. So let's go ahead and hop in here. I hope we get an opponent that's not VC farming. So nice. We are going against a Nova Grappler player here, so at least we get a little variety in the video. Like I said, Nova Grappler is really strong right now, but a lot of people's decks aren't finished just because the game's so new. So we'll hope that he doesn't have 4 Shurikaizers and 4 Brutal Jack, or otherwise we're going to be in for a rough time. And you would think Kagura would have a good matchup with Riddler just because you retire their rear guards, but at the same time they run so many draw triggers usually that they can just replenish and just keep attacking with their very powerful rear guards and stand effects from their Vanguard units. Alright, so it looks like we got an actual opponent here, which is nice. He's not VC farming. Alright. And here I'm going to go ahead and ride my 7K Joka. Just because we want to keep our other grade 1, the 6K, because it retires an opponent's grade 1 rear guard. And the 8K that we run is part of the superior ride, which if we get the grade 2, we can do this. Well, we already have the grade 2 rather, so we're going to get the superior ride off next turn. So that's why you don't want to ride that. And nice, we've got a critical trigger here, so we're going to go ahead and deal him 2 damage. He performs his damage checks. And then it's his go. Let's see if he has Jack here. Nice, so he's riding the 7K, which you check the top card, call it if it's not a grade 3. So good for us, he didn't hit anything, and he's now on a 7K Vanguard, so we can push a lot of damage next turn because we're even going to be riding directly to grade 3 with our superior ride effect. So wow, yeah, really weak turn by him. Obviously didn't have his grade 2s, or didn't want to call him this early so that I couldn't retire them. So we're going to go ahead and ride our Aleph here and use his ability to go ahead and go on our grade 3 Aleph. So basically what he does is when he's on your Vanguard circle and you have these two specific rear guards, you can put them into the soul to ride your grade 3 Aleph and draw a card. So we basically get to skip a ride and go directly to grade 3, which is really nice. And we're just going to try to pressure him here and get him to call out his rear guard so we can retire them next turn. We'll go ahead and call this here because you want a soul charge for your finisher, which is the Vortex Dragon. I'm going to attack here first and hopefully he doesn't get a trigger. He doesn't. So every time your Vanguard takes damage, you go up 5k unless you get a trigger, and then it goes up 10k defense. So we were fortunate enough to hit a trigger here, so we're going to give that power to the rear guard because our Vanguard's not hitting, but we want our rear guard to hit because it'll soul charge a unit for us, which we're going to need for our Vortex Dragon if we get it. So it's nice. We already have him at 4 damage because you rode the weaker grade 2. And we're simming pretty well. We're already on grade 3. And Alice's other ability is you can unflip all damage if you send the 3 units that you use the superior ride to the drop zone. So we have that live as well. And his other ability is you can counterblast 4 to give it 3k and a crit until end of turn. So it looks like our opponent's going to ride gold Rutile here. So he's setting up for a big turn probably. Rutile is really good right now. You can read its effects there, but it basically stands a bunch of its rear guards and helps you unflip damage. Luckily, we have 2 grade 2s on the field, so he's going to have to attack those before he can deal us any damage. Interesting. And the other grade 3 that he has on rear guard, when it hits, you can counterblast 2 to stand a unit. But he's obviously not going to use it because I got the heal trigger now, which is really lucky on my part. So his other units won't be able to hit this turn even if he stands them. Alright, so back to our turn here. So we're going to go ahead. We're not going to ride right now because the only thing I would ride over this is a Vortex just to get the soul building. But we do have 4 in soul. We could retire a unit if we want to, but I'd rather just keep the soul charging going and just use this card's ability, which basically what he says is you can retire him to retire one of your opponent's grade 3 units. So we'll get rid of his grade 3 here. And it'll also boost up our Blazing Flare because every time an opponent's unit is retired, it gets plus 3,000. I'm going to go ahead and attack his grade 2 here so we can deal damage to his Vanguard. And hopefully we can get a critical here to end the game. Or just boost up our rear guard enough to be able to push. So no trigger there. See if he gets a trigger, because if he gets a trigger, my other rear guard can't hit. So here we have enough attack to hit him again. And if he doesn't have a perfect guard, this will be game here unless he gets a 6 damage shield. So he does have a perfect guard. Now perfect guards work a little bit differently than they do in the in real life card game in the game. Basically what they say is if your opponent gets a critical, you can play it. Or if you're at 5 and your opponent attacks you for game, you can play the perfect guard to nullify the attack. So we're kind of in a bad spot here just because we don't have any perfect guards, but luckily he doesn't have any boosters, so we should be able to survive this turn because, like I said, you'd have to deal 6 damage to finish the game. And that's kind of bad for us to get the trigger because we'll be able to stand in with Rutile's effect. Interesting. He kind of wasted counterblast there because he could have stood the grade 3 instead because the grade 2 is not going to be able to hit regardless. And he also did put us to 4 damage, which means we will be able to... use Alex's effect and go ahead and hopefully finish the game here. So we're going to go ahead and skip our ride here. We'll actually be able to use both Alex effect, which is going to be really nice here. Because we have the unflip damage effect since we have the cards we use the superior ride and the soul. So we'll go ahead and counterblast 4, gives it plus 3k and 1 critical till the end of turn. And then we'll go ahead and use his other ability to unflip all of our damage by putting them into the drop. So we could go ahead and use our Alice on rear guards effect to go ahead and give him an extra critical and 3k as well. So we're going to go ahead and use our grade 2 to take out his interceptors. We can attack his Vanguard. And we'll go ahead, hopefully he doesn't have 2 perfect guards here, because he'll have to survive unless he gets heals. So no triggers for us. Let's see if he had the perfect guard. He does not, because if you get that animation, it means it is dealing your opponent damage. Let's see if he gets the heal. Nope, no heal, so nice. We did go ahead and win. And that's basically Vanguard 0 for you. It's definitely really fun. Can't wait for the second set to come out. I believe it's next month, and it's going to be Bermuda Triangle. But we did go ahead and rank up here to C1. So if you guys want to see more videos, just let me know if you like to see like deck profiles, games, or just even playing the story. But thank you guys so much for watching. You guys have a good rest of your day.